From the great state of Texas, you are now listening to Skip the Noise podcast, a Rounded Edge media production. Thank you so much for joining us. And by us, of course, I'm referring to Rick, a.k.a. the Brown Python, or the Fuhrer, depending on who you are. Ben, a.k.a. Mexican Nostradamus, and myself, Benjamin James, here for another tremendous episode of Skip the Noise podcast. Shout out to Mike Tacklebox for the music. And to kick things off, the first topic is going to be a little controversial. But we've got balls. We're just going to go right up front with it.
Trigger warning.
We'll do that. But before we do that, just like old school Skip the Noise fashion, we've actually got a shout out to lead the program. And Rick, would you do us the honors? And we don't know what this is. He just discussed it, and so we're about to go. This is new to us too. So Rick, what's your shout out?
Yeah. So hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to politicians up in Washington. All right, they actually did something noble and very nice. They made Juneteenth a federal holiday.
Yes, that's wow.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting that from the Fuhrer. I don't know how to handle this. It's very good, very good. It is a federal holiday.
I didn't know about Juneteenth until I came to Houston and I went to TSU. Yeah. That's the first time I ever heard about it. And I said, wow, that's interesting. The university recognized it, and we got a day off, and now it's a federal holiday. And just to be sure, what everybody around the world, what Juneteenth is, that's really the day that Republicans freed Black people from the slavery of Democrats. Okay, that's what happened that day.
And here it goes. Okay, this is why I was waiting for the twist, and then the twist came.
It's true. Tell me what part of that was not true. Okay, but Black people were freed from slavery on June 19th. Okay, and that's why it's called Juneteenth. It's kind of abbreviated. And yes, the Republican president released the Emancipation Proclamation and freed all slaves from the Democrat South. So anyway, big shout out to Washington politicians, and that's it.
Well, hold on.
Oh wait, we're moving. Okay.
No. Quick question. No. I'm good with that. I always get confused though. So, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong. So is Juneteenth the day the Emancipation Proclamation was released, or was it when slaves found out?
It was when they found out in Texas. So it's a specific.
Okay. So I always get that confused. Okay. My bad. But yeah. It's definitely, yes, it should be a federal holiday. Freedom, if anything, is
should always
essential.
Be celebrated.
Yes, it should be essential in our society, and so that's a big thing. Like we have to celebrate people's freedoms to be who to just be basic human beings. So yeah, good call out, man. Good shout out. I like that. Of course. I like that.
Definitely.
So mad love to Juneteenth, and I pray we never have to find other holidays like that again. I hope that there's not some future reckoning where we have to come up with another holiday because of some horrible atrocity we're committing now.
Yeah, and I prefer Stamp Day,
right?
Day,
Exactly.
Slushy Day,
Coin Collectors Day. I want days like that. I don't want
American Eagle Day, that kind of thing. So I'm all good for that.
Eagle Day.
And here's the thing too. Like it's funny. I'm glad you brought that up. Rick. That is a very good shout out. But hey, listen to this. So this is one of those holidays, right? There could be. I can already anticipate. You know what I mean? Like vocal pushback from, let's say, communities tucked way in the middle of America that, the far reaches where not a lot of Black people live. Okay, somebody would say, "Well, that's not really my holiday." Bullshit, man. It's American holiday. I think you should look at it because obviously this has been celebrated, especially here. It's really big in Houston as far as been alive and have always, there's big festivals and things like that. But even if you are a white American way in the middle of the country, you should still honor this holiday and think of it as, what it is. Like it's a humanitarian victory. Okay. So I don't know. I just, what I'm saying is like, I foresee a lot of the public, which they already have, like people on the far right protest, like, oh, well, not really, not observing it or kind of putting a little negative twist on it.
No,
and, yeah,
I know what you mean. It's just, coming from South Texas, predominantly Hispanic, you don't know about this. I didn't know about this until I came to Houston.
Right.
I know a lot of my friends who came from down South Texas, they'd never heard of Juneteenth either until they come up here.
Yeah.
But now that it's a federal holiday, you're kind of forced to say like, hey, what's this about? Why do they call it? Why is it a federal holiday now? And it's good. It's good. It can't be a bad thing.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I know a lot of your friends spoke German down there, but the big thing is
he lived in one of those communities where they were still hiding defected Nazis that got away.
I mean, they spoke German and they
like in Argentina and shit.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. He found the little pocket of South Texas that has like a Nazi stronghold. Like, no, we don't like us, Juneteenth. So, but yeah, it's definitely something that I hope we never have to at least come up with a new one. And like Rick said, prefer the stamp day, your pharmacy technician day. Give me days like that. Unfortunately, poor people that have suffered or been enslaved, and that's just not something that it's a celebration of their freedom. So, like Ben said, if you don't think it's your holiday, just remember you're an asshole. So. Moving on.
Right, there you go. Well
that's just the truth. You're just an asshole and you should go fuck yourself. So moving on, and I guess I will tee this one off. The controversial topic that we're going to start off this whole thing with is in regards to a new Olympic athlete by the name of Laurel Hubbard. She'll be competing from New Zealand in weightlifting. If you do not know that this individual is a trans woman who actually lived previously 35 years old as a male,
right?
Who actually lifted weights quite a bit. Well, so,
actually, not to cut you, I know you're
go
kind of introduced, but actually, what I read in kind of preparing for this was that actually what wasn't like a weightlifter. Started competing
big time.
Yeah. Once the conversion or the transition, and is now, obviously Olympic elite level, so there's a lot going on here. This isn't just
lots to unpack.
There's a lot to unpack, and we'll do our best to touch on every angle of this. For one, so there's new regulations that allowed this to happen. And a lot of this gets down to the testosterone levels, so there's a lot of, it's opening up the regulations. And so Laurel Hubbard fit right into that. And that's why this is coming up now, right? Because I know this has come up in
it's a scientific thing.
It's right. So there's certain levels that you are allowed or that are permissible. For levels of testosterone. See, but the big issue is that, and this is based on, the doctors that are voicing, opposition to this. A male that goes through puberty, around 12, 13 years old, develops certain advantages, especially in a sport like weightlifting, right? Bone density. There's just a certain muscularity that comes with a male that has gone through puberty that a female of the same age doesn't happen, right? So therefore there's percentages. I mean, there's all kinds of numbers attached to this. I'm not just saying like, oh, women can't do it, but it's not about that. It's not about trying to impede on somebody's rights, but we're talking about, and I'll be honest with you, I could give a fuck about Olympic weightlifting.
What do I stay up all night watching it. I'm all in.
So it's not like I'm like, oh, she can't compete because the U.S. women's Olympic. I mean, shout out to them for all the hard work they put in.
Yeah, bro.
But there's a few things.
USA.
There's a few issues with this. One, it's kind of a crux, right? Like it's a turning point to where now that this has happened, if they don't sort of relook at these things, what other sport, or we look at like boxing or stuff where people could really potentially get hurt.
Well, I mean, let's just peel the scab off,
or even the competition. Yeah, go.
Let's just peel the scab off. The reality is, biological men, are stronger than biological women. Okay, there's just no. I know a lot of people want to contest that concept. And being that I'm open to basically everything, there's just realities of biology. this particular individual will be competing with the benefit of having a male structure and hormones up to the age of 35. And being so that even in the IOC says that her testosterone is less than 10 nanomoles, or I think it says, nanomoles per liter, this person also still has testes. So with that being said,
we forgot to mention that.
This is still a person who's had the benefit of training up to the age of 35 as a male, weightlifting, and being pretty good at it. I mean, not Olympic, because you have to be the best. But with that being said, men are just going to be stronger. And I know this is a concept that people try to like badger back and forth, and that there's no biological thing. So that's just the precept of it.
Let me clarify your state, and not to take words out of your mouth, but I think what you're saying by that. So anybody could point like, so certain individual, like you take an Olympic weightlifter versus a guy who lives like 2 doors down from me. Yes, that female is 30 times stronger than my whatever, 125-pound neighbor down the street. What we mean by men are biologically stronger is that all things being equal, the male, there's advantages to the bone structure, to the muscle density. There's various physical traits that are caused by genetics that allow for. So yeah, like I guess what I'm trying to clarify is that a woman who has trained her whole life, for example, Ronda Rousey talks shit, she can beat the shit out of me. Like if she came into my backyard and was like, hey, I'm going to take, and just started fucking kicking all my plants and, fuck your trampoline, started cutting holes in it. And I'd be like, hey man, what the fuck? Like she'd beat the fuck out of me.
Like an asshole.
Wow.
I know, right? Like
she's going to cut your trampoline.
She didn't do shit to me. Like I'm just sitting there talking shit like she's an asshole.
You know what? She is gonna fuck you up now.
Dude, she will now
wrap you up.
I'm just saying.
I was asking for her autograph after she trashed my place. I'd be like, can I have your autograph?
I know. So, I
love you in WWE.
So my approach, that being said, my approach probably wouldn't be, hey, what the fuck? It'd be like, oh, can I take a selfie with you? Anyway. I'm just saying, like person per person, no, but yes. What do you call it?
Well, but on average,
genetically, that's
even in a worse.
Sure.
Okay, so men are just athletically, on average, going to be better than women, right? So it very easily shown, and there's been quite a bit of just this is you can take it one way or the other, but to me, this is just cheating. Right. There's a gentleman in Britain who decided to declare himself a female for the day and broke the woman's powerlifting record for deadlift. Right.
The internet.
And he wasn't even he wasn't anything special. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the dude isn't strong. He's pretty strong, but he's not something like crazy. Like of us 3, there's a pretty good chance that if we train for about a year or 2, we're deadlifting pretty damn close to what's considered Olympic weight for women. And we're not special athletes, and we're all pretty, some of us are north of 40 and some of us are right on the door. All I'm saying is this individual, this situation, that's the problem, right? There's a lot of women that bust their ass. They go all in. I mean, these women are training day in, day out, and the only limiter is biology. And so then when you take away that limiter and you allow an individual to compete against them and all their hard work and you can only imagine what's needed to be done, and then just have the unfair advantage of 35 years of being a biological male. That's really kind of that's just, to me, it's cheating. It's not fair. It's just the same thing as it's reality, right? I mean, it's not
here's
cool.
The thing. Oh, I mean, now that we're letting trans athletes, women go into women's sports, what's the incentive for women to go and practice and practice their hearts out?
True.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
you're going to let some man just dominate the sport, or a biological man who identifies as a woman.
Before, we're not dead naming her. What we're trying to, I think, just to point out for Rick's sake, we're not dead naming. We're not trying to say that Laura Hubbard is a man. She is clearly biological transgender female. She is a transgender female, but yeah. So just.
But what's the incentive for women?
She was born a male
to train.
Yes.
To put in the time, to put in the money, to put in the years of training for a sport,
right?
Only to have it been ripped away by someone who was born a male, who is now identifying as a woman.
Right.
There's no incentive anymore. Scholarships are going to be handed out to trans women now. Think about people who sponsor sports. They're not going to want to sponsor a woman. What for? They can just get a trans female and just dominate the sport.
No, you're right. You're right.
Women are going to be pushed out. This, and they shouldn't have to, I understand equality is important and so forth, but not at the expense of other people's rights.
Well, okay. I don't know if that statement is necessarily correct, other people's rights, but rather
or happiness or
pursuit of happiness. This is still sports. This is still sports, right? In the end, this is still sports. It's still a game, but to try to maintain the appearance of fairness while letting this occur, that just doesn't work. I mean, I understand there's going to be very strong competitors that will be there. I mean, and technically Laura Hubbard could lose, right? I mean, she could technically lose, and there'll be very strong competitors there. But the fact is that just with her previous biological, I guess, what would
she's
you
an
say?
Advantage, yeah.
She has an advantage, and it's not right.
Biological history.
Great. Yeah, good, better term. So to me, that's why I say this is cheating. It's this bullshit. And in New Zealand, I mean, everyone wants a gold medal. Everybody wants some type of glory, and so that's what this is all about in the end. And it's pretty. It's just really disturbing because I don't think this is something that I don't understand why if there's trans athletes, right? Because then they should compete against other trans athletes. If we keep it fair.
You don't see it go the other way around. You never see trans men competing in men's sports. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't see that. I mean, when is a biological female who identifies as man going to go into a boxing ring with another man? It's not going to happen.
Oof.
It's not going to happen. And this is how you know that the scale is uneven. Okay.
Well, it's beyond that. Just any sport. I mean, look at basketball.
Any sport.
You take a transgender man and that played in the WNBA, and you put that person in the NBA, it's lights out. Like they're not going to even be able to be the towel boy. It's just not going to work. I don't care what anybody says. There's just differences, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean that women's sports shouldn't be cherished or shouldn't be respected. And I think this is taking that away, and that's fucked up.
That's the whole thing. Like it doesn't take away from women's sports at all. And like if you take that angle, I think you're mistaken because because people like to point out, because it does happen, right? Like you'll have like an Olympic, let's just say I'm trying to think of an example. Let's say the not Olympic, but the USA basketball, right? Women's. Okay. They'll take on maybe like a Division II men's college team, and the college team win. There's like a specific example of something I'm like, basically the angle I'm taking here. I just can't think of it.
Bro, high school basketball.
It's happened, right?
It's a high school basketball.
It's happened before, right? Like very, very lower level men's teams have beaten like elite female teams. Okay. That's okay though. Women's sports is a different thing. I watched the shit out of the USA women's soccer team.
Oh, all day volleyball.
I watch it for its own.
Yeah, I watch
really the shit out of beach volleyball too.
Damn it, Rick.
Yeah. No, hey, props.
Would you watch trans athletes in beach volleyball?
You know what, Rick?
Would it be the same?
Why not? I would.
Oh damn. Okay.
Okay. Well, I don't watch. I don't watch volleyball at all. I just, but Yeah,
beach volleyball is pretty dope, though.
It is pretty dope. It's fun, dude. You got the music. You got people who are like celebrating. You got these hot chicks in tight bikinis and whatnot. Anyway,
there we go.
Anyway,
you chauvinist.
My point being is that because it's different, that's okay. You don't have like, it's like, fuck, man. My son plays baseball. He's 10. He plays with other 10-year-olds. He doesn't play with fucking high school kids. You know what I'm saying? Like there's reasons they divide. Like there's a reason boxing has fucking weight classes. All this shit is not to discriminate against anybody. It's just to keep the competition at not even a level playing field, because you have a 13-year-old Mike Tyson, right? Who we all know the situation. People didn't believe he was 13. Just because he physically developed way quicker than your average 13-year-old. Okay.
He physically developed way more than average any person.
But the thing is, a situation like that, right? Well, that's just, I mean, he was born in whatever year and the other kid was born in that same year. So yeah, well, he just got the better end of the genetics and so be it. But when you're shifting things like, and I'll just kind of sum the whole thing up. When you're shifting things like an individual who was, spent 35 years as a biological male and then transitioned into a female, it has nothing to do with like infringing on anybody's right to identify because that's a different thing. Let's be honest. Like and this is where the public kind of gets it twisted. So when you say sex, right, you're referring to male or female, biological. You're talking about chromosomes. You're talking about XX female, XY for male. That's what that means. That's what the sex of any animal or any whatever is going to be. Now, gender, that's a social, right? That's where you start to get to the identity social conversation.
Construct,
yeah. Right. Which is okay too. Generally speaking, individuals that are born with XY, this isn't come out of nowhere. They behave a certain way. They have certain roles in society, which is okay too. You know what I mean? Like historically speaking, there's a reason, or evolutionarily speaking, had to kind of coast that one out to get it out of my mouth. There's a reason why the gender roles exist. Okay. There's a survival reason for it, that it's evolved, whatever it is. Okay. I'm just saying at the end of the day, it's okay that there's fucking differences. But when you try to cram something in, you try to crowbar some shit in there just because of the illusion of impeding on somebody's rights. What about the women that weightlifted their whole fucking life and now Laurel Hubbard takes the spot on the team? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That ain't cool, bro.
I mean, the thing is, let's just say that women's sports gets taken over by transgender females. What are women supposed to do?
Oh boy.
I mean, there's home ec, there's there's child rearing classes, there's cooking. I mean, I guess that's what they're going to be relegated to now, right?
Wow.
Hey, why not? It's the sponsorship is going to go to the winner.
Oh boy.
We all know it's not going to be women.
Oh boy.
What's the incentive anymore? Hey, boy. I guess we can go back to the old times,
Well, since we're fucking throwing torches out there, it's the truth, right? I mean, that's some of what Rick says is kind of the part not about the home ec thing, but about the fact about okay, we're not gonna go with that one, but yeah, what in the end, what this is going to do is this is going to further isolate the female athlete. And I'm not trying to be a white knight, right? I'm not that fucking douchebag. Who I'm not the white knight that runs around trying to save people. That's not my concept. Not there. But I'm not that person trying to do that. So I'm not trying to speak. I mean, I imagine there's several female athletes that are saying, I can take this chode on. I got this. But the truth of the fact is no, you don't. Because biology, no matter which way you want to spin it, will win. We evolved as a species definitively because of the abilities that both sexes have. That's millions and millions of years of crafting.
Guys, you know what?
Unless you're Rick, who thinks it happened in 7 days. But
guys, I got this. If for some reason you cannot get a scholarship because the scholarship went to a trans athlete, you can always get a COVID scholarship in Colorado.
Oh, you sneaky bastard! Oh, God, that's how you transition brilliant. Right there. So
you can always get a scholarship for taking a COVID shot.
I'm so much happier to be talking about COVID than that. That's just. I'm sorry. The trans thing is such a fucking horrible.
Some fucked up story.
It's a touchy subject.
All right. So the reason we talked about that first because Benjamin can actually edit that first part out in case it gets too dicey.
It makes it easier. No, it does. I really
you guys are gonna hear like, oh well, and then blank, and then like nothing. Then so COVID, COVID vaccines. So if you guys hear a lot of heavy editing, there's a fucking reason why. Okay, because
I may do this shit on purpose so you can tell it's like
I know, right? Like, oh well, let me tell you about trans. And then it just goes away, and then it cuts straight to COVID. So you know what else is pretty crazy is these COVID scholarships. Like you hear Ben interject his voice like I'm like, yo, that is a good idea. And hey, we all believe everyone's equal. That's what Ben's gonna end up injecting inside of everything. But yeah, so COVID scholarships, right? I mean, that's crazy. I mean, we talked also previously about how they've offered to adults, they offered the $1 million. Yeah. Or like a lotto type thing for people in Ohio.
We talked about having them offering fucking weed.
Right, weed. And now they're trying to attract younger folks or younger adults to get these vaccines with, COVID vaccine scholarships. So,
and they're the group that are lowest risk too.
Exactly. Or if any risk at all.
Yeah.
Right. So they basically, most individuals, and anyone can go back and look at the science. It's very plain to see. If you are a younger adult, and I mean, I'm talking about under 30, the probability of dying from COVID is very, very, very low, like extremely low. Like it's pretty astronomically low. So with that being said, if you're a teenager, it's even lower because you're even healthier or newer to say.
If you're a kid, like our kids,
yeah,
it's virtually impossible. You don't have to wear a mask. You never did.
Right.
So yeah, then you get the less COVID affects you. However, when you give vaccines to teenagers from say 17 all the way up to 30, they're starting to find out that you're starting to get myocarditis.
That's a real there's not longer causative links. The CDC actually released that says that there is a likely link. This is just straight from them. It's a CDC safety group says there's a likely link between rare heart inflammation in young people after COVID shot. So that being said, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are people pushing these things when they know there's a possibility of this? Like these programs and just the concept of vaccinating, like, don't get me wrong. I've been vaccinated. Ben's been vaccinated, as we've mentioned before. We made our personal choices, right? We're over 40, for whatever reason we had to do it. But to make children do it that are in very little danger at all of dying from this disease, and then endangering them further with possible side effects of mRNA vaccines, which, to be quite honest, guys, are not shaping up to be like the perfect solution that we have looked at. We're endangering children now to continue this fallacy. And I will call it a fallacy.
For what, though?
Exactly. It's a fallacy. It's a fallacy.
That's bullshit.
This is supposed to be an emergency use drug for the most vulnerable populations.
Yep.
And we've come to find out that children, young adults, and even middle-aged adults aren't really high risk.
Right.
It's the elderly, the infirmed, the terminally ill. Those are your high-risk adults, and those are the ones that should have received the vaccine and then stopped it.
Right.
Okay, let it go through the regular clinical trials after that. But no,
right.
No, we kept it going.
Well, because how many have been purchased? How many have been sold?
It's all about money, bro.
It really is. Yeah. It really is, guys. And I'm not trying to say this as I know we typically go more the tinfoil hat stuff at the back of this particular podcast, but I think now we're starting to see that this isn't no longer just a tinfoil hat shit, right? We're starting to see like everything that we've been saying over this last year regarding these vaccines or regarding COVID has been panning out. Right. I mean, the Wuhan link, everyone, whatever, we've been calling it out and we've been pretty fair, right? We're not these people who are talking about hollow earth or, don't vaccinate your kids and shit. We're not doing that. But if you've seen just from level-headed individuals discussing this, the Wuhan link is there. We've talked about the fears and just how horrible it is to rush vaccines or any type of medical treatments without proper testing. You know what I'm saying? We've talked about the deadliness of COVID and whether it was really that deadly or not. And you're starting to see all these things that everyone basically called you a tin hat or tinfoil person for saying. They're
some
basically
platforms would have banned
real.
You.
Huh?
Some platforms would have banned you for
100%. 100%. That's a big problem because, but that's happening now, and now all these things that were taboo to say. I mean, you saw Jon Stewart go off on the Colbert show.
Colbert didn't know what to do.
Colbert he peed his pants. He's like, "Oh, this is funny," and Jon Stewart's like, "I'm not fucking funny. This isn't funny. This is reality."
I didn't see it, bro.
It was brutal. What happened? It was brutal.
Yeah.
Basically, like Jon Stewart just starts going off about how like as almost in a joke, but in a reality platform, how would you not think that something that comes from they literally studied the coronavirus at the Wuhan lab, right? Like that's made there, studied, produced there. We've determined that the disease came from there. How would you not think that it was not leaked from this lab? Like it's common sense. And so he basically put it on Colbert, who's like, he didn't know
he
what
wasn't
to
ready
do.
For all that.
Well, he couldn't do anything because the sponsorships or whatever, no one wants that. No one wants to. Everyone wants to just play it, whatever, because China's paying the bills. So
easily.
So in the end, that being said, now we're running across the concept that younger individuals are not being pushed to take the same vaccine, and you're just like, oh fuck, well hold on, dude, like. At least I've had 40 years on this earth, right? At least I've had some experiences. But now you're trying to poison children to continue.
For what, though?
Exactly.
I mean, it makes no damn sense.
Exactly. If there was a high rate of death or danger, then yes. But if there's not,
it's going to come to the point where they have a higher chance of developing myocarditis than actually getting COVID. That's what's going to come down to.
Yeah, and then they say, "Oh, but in the individuals that get it, it usually works out pretty well." Well, hold on. First off,
getting that in the first place.
Fucking myocarditis is pretty terrifying, right? It's not, And then to clarify what myocarditis is, it's a swelling of the heart. Now they're even saying the pleurocarditis, which is the swelling or inflammation in the lining of that cavity. That's not shit to play with.
You only got one heart, man. You have two kidneys, two lungs, but you only got one heart.
Exactly.
No
fucking
shit.
Righteous, dude. I mean, what happens when your finger gets swollen, right? You're just like, fuck, my finger's fucked. Like you jam your finger, you ever play basketball, you got a rebound funny, you jam your finger and it gets swollen. You can't use that thing for shit. Well, imagine your heart getting fucking swollen. That's beating on average 60 to 80 fucking times a minute.
It doesn't take a break. It shouldn't take a break.
Never takes a break.
You need that thing. You need that thing to be working at optimal
tip top.
You need it to be going all cylinders.
Yep.
The only solace I take when I jam a finger is that I have 9 more to go off.
Right. Okay? Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Right. But just to show how just minuscule, just to show the debilitation of inflammation. Right. When you jam your finger, you can't even fucking barely bend that. Well, imagine you got this big ass muscle that's getting swollen. There's swelling along the lining of it. So now there's increased pressure in that cavity because your heart's in a cavity. What do you think that does?
Well, they got to open up your chest and release some of that pressure.
Well, technically, right. Or they could do increased ejection fraction. But this is not problems that someone should have as a young child or an adolescent.
Well, especially as a result of a vaccine. So like Ben said earlier, him and myself, that was a risk reward decision. We talked a lot of shit about the vaccine. I still do. Both of us probably actually said like, I ain't fucking getting it, blah, blah, blah. And then we ended up getting it. You didn't know. Credit to you. But
probably the best decision you've made.
Our flip-flopping was, that happens too sometimes because decisions happen. It's not, if I was just a single, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
40. What the fuck? Am I 42?
You're 40. No, you're about to be. You're 40.
I'm 42.
You're 42.
Okay.
You'll be. Yeah.
Oh damn.
You'll be 43.
Yeah.
Because we're we're both the same age for like 2 weeks.
Couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you go back up.
Then you go back up again. And then I'll make sure in September I'm gonna rub that in on the podcast.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it was a risk reward situation. I was thinking about, I've got 4 children, I've got elderly relatives and all these things. So I was like, blah, 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 we'll take it. But when it comes to the kiddos, that's a whole nother thing, like Ben said, because there's a lot of years. But nonetheless, man, the push for this is what's weird.
Right.
And it all leads back to money. Anytime you think the simplest explanation for any phenomena is who's getting paid, where are they getting paid, you can pretty much figure fucking anything out. And speaking about getting paid, I know I would like to take this gentleman's paycheck, but I would not want to be this gentleman because I don't know. We don't vibe like that. But what happened? What's your boy Tucker, Rick?
What's going on?
No, you know what? Ben, you sent that story about Tucker Carlson being a narc for liberal media outlets. So he's kind of like the secret source.
Yes.
First off, this has not been mentioned anywhere else but the New York Times. All right.
No, there's several other media that picked up, and there's up to 14 to 15 sources that are confirming this now.
There's 2 things about Tucker Carlson.
Okay, now he's going under the bus. We can see that axle now.
He could be a narc. Okay, who knows? I don't know. This is just on accounts of the same people who called Trump a Russian asset, which we know that's false. It's the same news media. I mean, you can't believe anything they're saying anymore. There's the same media that talks about COVID being dangerous and shit like that. Okay, now let's just say he is an narc. Purely theoretical. Is this show really wrong? I mean, the stuff that he talks about in the show is pretty eye-opening.
No, it's not.
It is eye-opening.
No, it's not.
He takes a position that's different from the mainstream media.
He's an Alex Jones wannabe. That's what he is.
No, that's not he. No.
Yes,
Alex Jones is out there.
He's an Alex Jones wannabe. That's
Alex
all
Jones
he is.
is
He's Alex Jones light. How about that?
Maybe. I think so. Okay, Alex Jones light, but he takes a different position from the regular news media. They don't like him for that. They don't like him for that.
He's the Bill O'Reilly wannabe. They say stupid shit. They don't really believe what they're saying. People have to start understanding this is about entertainment.
Yeah, it's all about. Look at CNN. I mean, they don't say it's for entertainment. They call it news.
Right, okay? but it's the same thing with Fox News. It's
and MSNBC.
Right, dude. And we could go down the concourse of news agencies, and you're right. I agree.
Even I'm saying Rush Limbaugh called himself an entertainer. Do you know that?
He was, the EIB, Excellence in Broadcasting.
Yeah, he even called himself that.
Yeah, but God rest his soul.
Yes, God rest his soul. Nice man. But Tucker Carlson, he's a great entertainer. He has different positions from the mainstream media, but he is so hated by CNN, MSNBC. I mean, CNN, they have a whole show just on whatever Fox News reports on. What's his name? That fuck. I don't know. He has a show.
Big words.
Big words.
Sorry. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry about that.
Wow. Well, someone needs to talk about the dietly challenged. Look, well, no, all I'm saying is, so the only reason why I really want to mention that is because I think a lot of people are they look at these news organizations and in particular Fox News, and I'm not saying the same isn't seen with what's it called with CNN, but they look at like Anderson Cooper, people like that. They look at these individuals like they're trustworthy. Like they do. But people listen like you right now. Just say, well, Tucker Carlson brings up things that are different.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, no, he doesn't. He creates his own drama. That's basically what this is going on. He leaks the stories to the liberal media and then chastises them for commenting on the stories he leaked to them. I mean, fuck, bro.
Hey, sounds like a really good business plan.
Exactly, but he doesn't give a but he doesn't give a fuck about what he's saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Hey, no one said he had conviction. He's just putting it out there and letting other people do that.
No, you're saying he's having conviction because he's mentioning things against the mainstream media, and it's
entertainment.
He's leading the charge, whatever, dude.
I never see him leading the charge.
He's quelling his own fires. It's pretty fucked up. He's the fire starter, and that's all he does. Man,
it's business. It's business.
He's like that. He's that Munchausen mom, gets her own kid sick and then likes the attention everyone gives her. That's Tucker Carlson. Yeah. He's Munchausen by proxy news server.
Munchausen mom, Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson, the Munchausen mom.
He's taking a little bit from each side. Okay, he gets one from the right, the right viewers. Then he gets a little bit from the left side, from the left media.
Anything from the left.
He's got his hands all over the place. Who doesn't do that anymore?
Well, dude, all of Fox News has problems with getting their hands all over the place. I mean, come on, dude. They're real touchy feeling at Fox News.
Like Matt Lauer?
Dude, Matt Lauer got it bad, bro. But speaking of, dude, you can't even say his
buzzer
name.
in his office.
You know what? Saying Matt Lauer is like saying Sauron from fucking Lord of the Rings, bro. You can't say his name. He's the Dark Lord right now. He was the first one that got canned as soon as shit went south. He was like pulling his fucking wanger out for everybody. But yeah, so I just wanted to just kind of just interject once again that, that's why you listen to us, right? We in the end, we actually try to balance out if we're not saying things that we're instigating, we're finding these stories and we're really kind of looking for different angles to try to show what's happening. Whereas you have individuals right now that are using news for entertainment. And not even trying
at the end of the day for money,
and not even trying to inform you, not even trying. Like we fuck around a lot, right? But we actually try to inform you of what's happening, not because we want to sway your opinion or to change you, but because at least we're showing you two different sides of the same coin. Whereas you have assholes who literally, what?
You literally used a phrase from the Portland tourism ad.
Oh fuck! No, I cannot wait to read that.
Two sides of the same coin.
That's really good. Party in the back is okay, dude. This is a precursor for Party in the Back. It's going to be the best as we persuade you to go to Portland for your next vacation.
We're gonna dissect a tourism.
But one place I'm not going for vacation is Afghanistan. Fucking Afghanistan, but I know there's a bunch of other people from other countries, in particular China, that really want to go to Afghanistan as the vacuum opens up with the removal of United States troops.
You may want to book your trip to Afghanistan right now that it's cheap, man. Because when the Chinese move in there, they're gonna make shit nice. Okay.
No, they're not.
So, no. Wait,
dude. Afghanistan has fucked.
Let me tell you.
No one survives Afghanistan.
Okay, check it out. United States and Russia both tried to go into Afghanistan. They stayed there for 20 years with their troops, just murking people. Okay, that's all they did for 20 years, and they actually used Moab bombs, this and that.
Oh, bro.
China's gonna go in there, as the art of war, and they're gonna go in there. They're not gonna fire one shot and still take over Afghanistan.
No, they will not.
They will. They will. No, they will. They're experts at this stuff. They're gonna do what they did with Africa. They're gonna do what they did here in America. They're gonna take their money and flash it around to everybody and be like, "Look, you all can be rich if you make business with us."
Well, the problem is that they can't deal with their own issues. So, right, that's normally been an issue, except that what they're dealing with there is they're dealing with and I might, and forgive me if I don't have the correct term for the I guess the mobile population there, Bedouin type tribes and Islam. China doesn't have the greatest track record dealing with Muslims. And so now you have China moving into that arena. It's not, and that's the thing about Afghanistan. It's not just about money. It's about, well, that's what everyone's is trying to figure out, right? Because Russia went there. You don't think Russia tried to grease the wheels, socialism, etc., the things that you hate the most? They tried to do that, and then they decided, okay, fuck it, we're just gonna, we're gonna go all anti-Rambo. I mean, you saw that movie, big helicopter smoking people. They went all in. We hit them with democracy, tons and tons of cash. We paid off all the Afghani tribesmen. We paid so much money out. Nothing. You don't think so? You think China, who has a serious issue dealing with Uyghurs and their suppression of them, you don't think China's going to have some problems?
Here, let me ask you a question. Suppressing the Uyghurs, how's that going for them? Are they being successful at it?
No, they're not.
The Chinese government?
Successful. They're not successful at it at all. Like, yes, we see their special lunchtime camps,
exactly,
and things of that nature. There's also a substantial amount of, and I don't want to say terrorism, because I don't necessarily believe it's terrorism. I don't believe it's terrorism. I think whenever you're being suppressed and you're being attacked the way that those people are being done, I call it acts of freedom, because at some point you can only kick a dog so many times before it bites you back. So there's a lot of media suppression of sabotage type acts in that region. There's tons of media suppression. The state does not let that come out.
You're talking about in Western China?
Yes. In the Xinjiang, I always pronounce it incorrectly. The Xinjiang province, I believe. Xinjiang province.
Or
tons of individuals.
Turkmenistan.
Yeah. There's an active revolution there.
Right.
But it's being suppressed.
That's the whole, and that's the thing. Like the subtext of this whole story about China with the Uyghurs and everything, that's their motivation. That's China's motivation that they hide through saying that they're doing whatever. It is to combat that. It gets fueled. It's a cycle, right? So it would be, you could see the motivation for them to move into Afghanistan, because I'm sure, you look at an Afghanistan population that's been fucked, dude. They haven't had a break from goddamn war for ever.
I mean, fucking, but everybody loses.
So they
win by attrition every fucking time.
It's part of their fucking culture at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so for China, but like Rick said, I agree that their best course of action is not going to be like a military style, like the Russians and the Americans, like we tried to do. Maybe they do have different ideas of how to take it over and win. They're never going to win the hearts and minds. They may end up with another Turkmenistan situation.
Look at Hong Kong. Look at all these other. It
goes on and on and on.
Break them. You're not going to break these people, and China is walking into a serious problem.
No. This is where you guys are wrong. China is not like Russia. They're not like America. China wins a war by inches. Okay, they're going to go into Afghanistan. They're going to get pushed back. They're going to go back in. One little inch, they're going to win the hearts and minds of somebody else. They're going to get pushed back from everybody else. Okay, that's fine. They're going to come back inside. They win the war of inches. Okay, they're eventually going to win the hearts and minds of Afghanistan, because Afghanistan is a huge hub. Imagine China gets a hold of Afghanistan. They put a thriving economy in there. They stabilize it. Now they have access to the Middle East. They have access to Pakistan, Iran, United Emirates. I mean, they don't have to use shipping ports anymore. They can just make a road right through Afghanistan and have access to the Middle East. It's a keystone. It's going to be phenomenal. But they're not going to barge in there like the Americans.
You think that, okay.
Yes, we're going to allow that.
Okay.
Fuck, man.
Okay, so what happened when the Russians tried to take over Afghanistan? What really what helped Afghanistan against the Russians?
America.
We did. We got
right.
we could.
So you think that we're gonna fucking sit around idly? You don't think that we don't have our contacts there? You don't think that there's gonna be several Afghanistani, and then we're not even talking about the Northern Triad groups. Dude, China is going to, so there is the power vacuum. It's attractive. China thinks they can move. And why I do appreciate what you're saying, that they move by inches. The problem is that China is still a paper tiger, right? They have fake money, which we've already proven doesn't work in Afghanistan because we have real money and they didn't care. They have fake money. They have a complete totalitarian government that is anti-religion.
Yeah,
that shit just doesn't work, man. So I think they're gonna make a move, but the reality is once they do, I think that's actually their downfall. I think China entering into Afghanistan is like when we went into Vietnam in that region. Once the United States went into Vietnam, we really fucked ourselves with the Pan Asian. Like a lot of that partnership got screwed, and Russian influence just took over, and Chinese influence just took over because of what we did in Vietnam. I think China getting in Afghanistan will poison the well for the rest of the Middle East. I think they're about to enter their own, I guess a better term to say, Vietnam, because Afghanistan will break that, which makes you wonder, is that part of the reason why the United States is backing out? They're like, you know what? Fuck it. You know, we're tired of this bullshit, but we'll let you play around, and then whenever it's time, we'll subterfuge and hit them back. I think there's more to this than that.
China doesn't get into involvements without thinking about it. They're not like the U.S. They're not like George Bush. Okay.
Well, they don't have any. They don't have any real power to do so. It's not that China has no power. As much as we want to say, they have a 10 million man standing army. But most estimates say that only 500,000 of them actually have guns and bullets. Okay. Like there's a lot of dudes rolling with sticks. They don't have real military power. But their government is highly corrupt. I don't see them actually doing anything in Afghanistan, and I think that Afghanistan is just the bait for them. Just like it was for Russia. I think it's just another play from the same book. Because I tell you one thing, they start making inroads, all the other Arab states are like, we don't like the fucking way that they're treating other Muslims. We're not going to sit by and deal with that shit.
Unless you have a shit ton load of money.
Then we'll guess talk. But guess who has a shit ton, who has more money than they do in that region? Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia don't give a fuck. Saudi Arabia, nah, man, they're cutting heads off. They're cutting heads off of basketball courts. You think they're going to let another bully on the block roll in? Without no, they still buy United States weapons because it's the best shit too. So no, while I see what you're saying, I think China. I think this is a huge geopolitical moment where this could be part of the downfall of China as we know
it. I think that if the United States had gone in there in 2001 or whatever it was, slowly, we would have had Afghanistan. If we hadn't barged in there with tanks and soldiers and everything, I mean, that was quick.
How many rulers have said this? How many rulers have been destroyed by the Pashtun mountains?
That's if you get into military engagements. Military engagements don't work in Afghanistan.
Dude, it didn't matter.
China will never get to military engagement with Afghanistan. They know what they're doing.
They will, because China does not have patience the way that you see.
No, they do.
They're about to engage in military engagement in Hong Kong. No. They're suppressing them. They're going to.
It's like the United States going to war with Austin, Texas. I mean, come on.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro. They already have, actually. But
that's going to be a fucking Quentin Tarantino movie.
Right? Oh, my God. You imagine that bloodbath. But
besides, Biden said he would nuke anyone who would try to go up against the United States domestically. So, anyway. Well,
either way, all I'm saying is I think I do see this happening. I do think that this is just too big of a prize for China. And with China, with their ever expansion efforts and stuff like that, I think it's just too too much of a possibility of success. So I do see this happening. I really wonder how this will play out in the end.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's crazy. I think we're in a big pivotal moment in China's geopolitical ambitions. And I hate to say this, history continues to repeat itself. What are two things you don't do militarily? One, you don't fucking attack Russia during the winter. And two, you don't fucking try to take on Afghanistan. No, those are two universal precepts because they never work.
And speaking of China, so we're obviously the back end of the first half is pretty China heavy, but that's just because China is making moves like crazy. So y'all brought up a little bit in this conversation about the Hong Kong stuff, taking away their rights. So recently they've cracked down even further on the Bitcoin. So they've got a history though too, to back up a little bit. Anytime something, any kind of like liberty issue or what am I talking? What's the word for it? Event or like freedom. Facebook, right? They banned the fucking face. Yeah, freedom. Just they're all about suppressing freedom. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Google comes up, boom, gets banned. Facebook comes up like in 2010, banned. So now the Bitcoin is the shit. So now they're cracking down on it further, which leads to an interesting turn of events to where now that the mining can't occur in China, where else are they looking at now? Where are some of these potential hotspots? Maybe here in the great state of Texas.
Cheap energy. Who has cheap energy? Oh,
well, that would be us, sir. So, we may be the new destination. Any Bitcoin miners that want to plug into a internet connection and start mining for Bitcoin, come on over here to West Texas with all the solar. Yeah,
tell me why West Texas though. So you brought this up, and I accurately guessed West Texas would be the best place to mine for Bitcoin. And here's the reason why. Land in West Texas is cheap right now. I mean, you can buy a few hundred acres for $35,000. Okay, a few thousand acres, maybe $70,000, $100,000. I mean, land is cheap over there. Secondly, sun is plentiful. You're never going to get hurricanes. You're not going to get tornadoes. You're going to get nothing but desert sun all day long. Okay. Every season. So, that's why energy is cheap. It's not that they're going to tap into the grid because we all know the grid sucks. But what ends up happening is that you make these facilities with high-end solar panels and you're going to get sun year round to power your Bitcoin computers.
But why don't you go to like, I don't know, the biggest fucking desert in the world in Africa, which is geographically closer. I guess in my mind, stable. I wondered that
it's not already set up. Yeah.
Well, no, but we're talking. Well, neither is a massive solar grid in West Texas either. I mean, these guys are using extreme amounts of power. So, like, I guess to me, like, I see what you're saying. They're saying they're going there, but to me, it doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you just go to Saudi Arabia, or not Saudi Arabia, but why don't you go to portions of the Middle East? Why don't you go to Africa with the Sahara Desert, which is massive.
Kazakhstan's another destination for this, so it's going to go down there. But but like Rick said, West Texas is to make that comparison. So you said, why wouldn't you go to the Sahara? But like Rick said, though, it's a more stable environment.
Banks are stable more in the U.S. than they are in sub-Saharan Africa.
For sure. I mean,
it depends on which bank. And now with the internet, I mean, really, banking is a pretty world thing. I mean, basically, you can bank anywhere, you can transfer anywhere. So location is not the definition of stability, but rather it's also now with the global market. It's not a big deal.
You know what it is? When you start a business, you don't just start a business in the middle of goddamn nowhere, because getting supplies, and getting it's hard. It's an expense.
West Texas is kind of fucking goddamn nowhere if you really want to start throwing out keys out there.
It is. You might see the Marfa lights, bro.
True that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I mean, you're in Texas, okay? You do this in sub-Saharan Africa. Try getting FedEx over there, okay? You can't. Something breaks down, you're gonna have to wait probably weeks to get that part replaced. Versus, get on Amazon, getting it from California, and it's getting it shipped over to your house, to your business.
Right.
For my business, it wouldn't make sense to do it in a place like South Texas, because there's a lot of vendors here that supply me, and I can get supplies here almost instantaneously in Houston.
Right.
Okay. Versus if I were to go to another part of the state that's more rural, it would probably take me a week, and I'd be out of a part for a whole week. So for these guys to set up shop in, say, sub-Saharan Africa or in the Middle East, and something goes wrong, they're not going to get the assistance that they need right away. It's going to take forever. So, time is money, and they don't want to waste it.
Yeah, but China itself is cracking down on it, right? So Chinese citizens are kind of in trouble for doing it.
Well, not in Texas.
Well, but are they not? Because China wants, so that's the thing. China will let you be very rich as long as they can control you. I mean, look at Jack Ma, right? He said a couple of things. Dude's a billionaire and he gets ghosted and then comes back with a lamp saying, I love the CCCP.
I love it.
It's the best thing ever. You know what I'm saying? So to say that they're moving to West Texas it's more of a, I think they really don't want Bitcoin. I just think that they don't like it as a possibility because they can't control it. So I think that, I don't know. It just confuses me, the concept of coming to Texas to do it.
Do you know who's also in West Texas? Right in the middle of nowhere. Do you know who's there?
Tesla, right?
No.
Tesla's going to move out there.
No. Jeff Bezos in his
South Texas is where
Jeff Bezos has his space program in the middle of West Texas.
Right.
Between El Paso and Midland, somewhere in there.
Right.
It makes. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean, that is, if you're gonna buy property, buy it in that area right now. It's cheap and it's in demand.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you're right. It is part of a relatively stable country. Probably has the ability to get grids, etc. But if you can get the grid to work, and actually, you know what? Isn't parts of West Texas not in the Texas grid?
El Paso is not part of the Texas grid. You're right.
Right. So I can understand. So while they're in, they kind of get the benefits of both. They can actually get a reliable grid that isn't manned by a moron, or they can actually get a good grid, but still get all the business and benefit taxes of being in Texas. So that's interesting. Hey guys, El Paso might be the new spot, to be honest with you.
Maybe. And too, just to throw this in there, this wasn't part of the original agenda, but the Texas government has been urging people to, hey, go easy on your AC this summer. We're in the middle of this heat wave, and all of a sudden fucking ERCOT can't support, because if you don't know, on a previous show we talked in great length about once the ice storm hit us, when the fuck was that, even March,
February,
I don't even
9th.
know. February. Yeah. Okay. So if you'll go back quite a few Skip the Noise episodes, we talked in great length about ERCOT. And so Texas has its own energy grid, which is very unique because most of the country is on a universal grid that has several regions a part of it. But Texas, we have our own.
Well, the federal government can't control us. So
right. They can't. Yeah.
Well, they can come visit our border though. Oh,
yeah, they can.
That
and
one
they're planning on
this.
Yeah.
We didn't even chip in this one, guys. This one's going to be action packed pretty soon. So, Kamala Harris is visiting the border. Speaking,
she is
about damn time.
So okay, right?
But they're going to clean up that place.
But what did Abbott say? Abbott said that she's visiting for the wrong. Oh, fucking shit! He's visiting for the wrong reason. Why did Abbott say that?
Because President Trump is coming to the border himself to come take a look at it. So now, because of that, Trump has taken credit for Kamala Harris coming down to Texas to come see the border. So thank you, Mr. Trump, for forcing our vice president to come visit the border.
Well, dude, we already talked about
dearly.
It. Bro, okay, look, you know what? I was speaking to a very dear friend of mine, dear family member of mine. And when we were talking about it, really, what's going to end up happening is and this is going to be the scandal that everyone needs to really listen to. Kamala Harris is going to be seen like making out with Donald Trump. That's what's going to happen. And what's it called? Ivanka is going to be like holding Biden's hand. I mean, this whole thing is just ridiculous. I mean, she basically has already said several things Trump said about immigration. She herself has said it. Yeah. So really, it's all the same thing, you know. So
I was just waiting for the Remain in Mexico policy to come back.
Oh my God! It's okay. Yeah. Look. We've already talked about the Remain in Mexico policy. It's not a real policy, right?
You know, it's a very effective policy.
It's not. It was not an effective policy because it was a policy instituted during COVID, under the auspice of COVID for the most part. And a lot of the border isolation was because of COVID. So the Remain in Mexico policy was just not, and then even before, actually it started a little before. So, but it was really continued under the auspice of COVID, the 16 months that we've been going through this situation. So with that being said, what do y'all think? I mean, Kamala Harris at the border, she is taking a harder stance. No. She's already taking a harder stance against immigration. So where does that leave that you got her coming, you got Trump coming. I mean, is it really just both of them saying the same thing now? I mean, prove me wrong, right? We've already had that.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not gonna put that on her until I see the Remain in Mexico policy come back.
Dude, I think I honestly think she's going to get hard. I think she's going to get more hardcore than that. I think she's going to go after immigration because that's who she is. She's literally, like I said, just the what's it called? The woke equivalent of Trump. That's all she is. Man. She's the woke equivalent of Trump because she could say the shit that Trump can say, and it's going to be okay. Because in the end, like I said, guys, Mexicans in this whole political thing, we just end up kind of just being used by everybody. And in the end, no one fucking likes us. But don't worry. In 20 years, we won't really have to deal with that anyways. So,
I guess in 20 years,
exactly.
we 20 years going to Mexico.
It will be. We will be the majority. And then we can use everyone else like they used us. But moving forward, I think this is an interesting that you're really seeing the Biden administration turning around from previous discussions regarding immigration and border policies. And to me, that's a crazy turnaround to see, especially over the last couple of weeks, because now they're going all in. So yeah, we'll see. But cool. I just want to see good old Abbott there holding Kamala's hand. It's going to be great.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about eviction moratorium or just go on break? Or
I don't know. I mean, by now we can. I mean, they're talking about pushing it back.
Oh, that's right.
They are talking about pushing back the eviction moratorium. So
I'll tell you what, that's a bad decision for renters, man.
Well, I think maybe we can touch some more about that in the part in the back. But I have a idea regarding that, and I think it's kind of something that we can kind of touch on.
All right,
why don't we do that then? We'll just go ahead and take this little break. So hey, before we get into the break, and I send you through to the bridge of the Groovacious Tombs, which you're about to hear, I do want to give a couple shout outs. One, a new podcast that has entered the space,
the realm.
Deep MCs, Deep Meaningful Conversations. Definitely check that out. They're 5 episodes in. They just keep getting better and better and better.
Yeah, they do. They got some really good topics.
Man, it really is. It's definitely a podcast that I've been waiting to hear for a long time, and now it exists, dude. So check it out. My boy Shepard runs that shit. They got it there on YouTube. But yeah, Apple, Spotify, wherever you can get them. Also, too, if you haven't already, go back and check out. I had an appearance recently. It came out, I think, last week while I was still in Florida on my little vacation. I was on the Mind Buzz with the homie Gil, and that I listened to it on my horrible drive back from Florida because of now I love me some Louisiana, but Jesus fuck, y'all had I-10 all kinds of fucked up on the westbound side of things. I went to the trip went like this, right? when we left, right, the plan was we stayed in New Orleans for a night. You know what I mean? Kind of vibe out in New Orleans for a day, kind of break up the 10-hour drive on our way to Destin. So we did that, and we saw, I'll be honest, on the way out, so eastbound, I did see a little, little bumper to bumper going on, but I didn't think too much of it because fuck, man, I'm headed, you know what I mean? I'm on the front of my vacation, so I'm not worried about it. However, on the way back, and we made good time, dude. I had the kids up. Fuck, we left Destin at 7 a.m. We were making great time. We were flying Alabama, Mississippi, but holy fuck. There was at least 3 or 4 spots coming back through Louisiana. Like I said, I love me some Louisiana, but fuck, get your shit together on I-10. It took us 15 hours to get home, dude. That drive was 15 hours, but the whole point of me saying that is during that 15-hour fucking monstrosity of a drive, I listened to my appearance on the Mind Buzz, which I was very pleased with. So thank you, Gil. That was a pleasure. It was really fun, entertaining. So go back and listen to that. Also, to shout out to Independent Thought podcast, dude up there in Montana, Desmond. Just covering fucking ruthless topics that nobody wants to talk about. Dude, very well researched, and you can tell when you listen, dude puts in a lot of shit, and that's the kind of people I like on the independent podcast scene. Motherfuckers just aren't like, hey man, we're a couple of bros in a basement, like jerk each other off. Like, this dude is putting in some shit. And
wait, hold on, man, dude. I kind of want to hear that other one that you're just talking about, maybe, bro. Dude, hey, we're 2 bros in a basement, we're jerking off. Actually, that sounds like entertainment to a high level, dude.
That's a freebie. Whoa. I won't. Hey, if somebody takes that fucking podcast concept and runs with it.
Dude, bros, the whole podcast is who comes first. That's gonna be great.
That's right. Oh, bro, yeah. I won't even copyright you on that. If you want to run with that, if you're a Skip the Noise listener and you want to start your own shit, 2 bros in the basement, whoever comes first.
They have to stare each other in the eyes while they do it in the basement.
For sure. I love it.
It's like,
and then also too, from the great state of Texas, the Mustachioed Podcastio.
Nice name. That's
dude,
a money.
One of the funniest fucking. Basically, this dude does a podcast on. They'll cover movies. Sometimes he'll do it solo. Sometimes, but he's from San Antonio. Movies where there's a prominent actor which features a glorious mustache. That's what the fucking concept of the podcast is. Nice. It's one of the funniest shit. It's great. So check out the Mustachioed Podcastio. Also, once again, from the great state of Texas, I got to kind of represent a little bit. I love bigging up others from the state. So, but that being said, we'll cut in this little break. We'll do our thing. If you got to take a pee, get you a little drink, get you something else. If you want to vibe out for the second half, Party in the Back awaits. So get ready for that, and we'll see you in a couple, or briefly. Okay, bye. Break. And we are back. So welcome to Party in the Back. Rick's got something, man. He discussed before we started recording. He's got some sort of a, I don't know if it was a strategy or a.
No, it's more of a concept, man.
Concept. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's more of a concept. Here at Skip the Noise, we're all 40s, in our 40s, and we dispense advice to a lot of young, impressionable men out there, and even some women too. Sometimes they get our advice and they take it and they run with it. But I was watching this video today on YouTube, and I go down these rabbit holes and whatnot. and it was talking about marriage and the whole concept of it, and they put it into a very good perspective. Basically, whenever you sign a contract with anything, there's always a disclosure involved. You buy a house, you buy a car, you look at the contract, you look at the indemnities, you look at the disclosures, what can happen. But they were saying that there's no such disclosure for marriage. There's no disclosure for marriage whenever you sign that contract with the state that you're going to get married in. And,
oh my God,
your partner. But dude, I want to know, like, do you think, I was thinking about this, like, I think states should start, along with the marriage contracts, how you send the dotted line, give out a disclosure. Hey, this is what's going to happen if you break this contract. This is, alimony in 10 years. 20% of your check goes to this or that. There should be some sort of disclosure for marriage certificates handed out by the state.
Oh,
So why isn't that? Why? I'm just saying, why isn't that possible? And why don't we get that? I mean, you get even when you pump gas, there's a disclosure. You're pumping gas and you see that little decal on the pump, and it's like, hey, if you mess with this, you're gonna go to jail and get $500 fine. I mean, even that shit has a disclosure. Okay, don't fuck with that shit.
Wait. Hold on a second. So let's define what's on the disclosure form. Like what, like in your perfect state.
In my perfect state, a disclosure form. Okay, in my perfect state, a disclosure form would be the laws pertaining to that contract that you're about to sign.
Ooh.
Okay. Basically, what you're gonna really, you're every person that's about to sign the contract needs to know what they're getting themselves into, because you are literally signing something. You're about to make this person that you love a relative, and you're about to give away half your shit that you ever earned your entire life to this other person. Okay, you're about to do that, dude. And you're in your 20s. You're mid to late 20s.
I like how it's a given that you're about to do that.
Yes, you were about to give half your shit to somebody else. You're about to make this person, and you have this romantic love with somebody, and I guess society expects the end game to be marriage. I guess, right? That's what everyone goes for. Well, but what are you really signing yourself? What are you really signing yourself into?
It's a social contract, Rick.
It's a social yes, it's a social contract. But once you get the state involved, it's a legal contract.
Yeah, no, it is. Right. It's a legal contract.
But that's marriage, right? I mean,
you need a lawyer for a will. You need a lawyer. I don't know. Start bank account. Sometimes you need a lawyer for when you're running a business. Why can't you get a lawyer for marriage? Why isn't that required? Instead of spending money on food and parties and shit like that, dresses, take that money, get a good lawyer for both of you, and know what you're getting into.
You know why?
Why?
It's the same reason why dudes don't throw condoms on before they get down and get in it, because it's not part of the, like, you're not thinking like, here, baby, let me get you all fired up and excited about starting a life with me. So before we actually start planning how much fun we're going to have, let's look at these contracts real quick. And basically my goal here is to prevent you from taking half my shit.
Yeah.
So I know I love you.
No.
I know
anybody.
I know we went to an Astros game, and I was on the big screen, and I got down on one knee and I proposed to you, and it just worked out in my favor that you said yes. And that was romantic and shit, and we had this beautiful thing planned. But let's talk business now. Now we're gonna talk. That's why, dude, because nobody wants to fucking have that conversation at that moment.
Dude. No.
That's why that happens.
Okay, but you're not preventing anything. No one's trying to prevent you from getting married. It's informed consent. If you're going to get into a contract with the state,
informed consent.
No. If you're going to get into a contract with the state, and you sign that marriage license should have all the disclosures of what you're about to get yourself into.
Well, but it kind of does, though.
Even if it's fine print.
But
no,
it does,
doesn't.
though. Yes,
it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Where?
Dude, it's everywhere.
Dude, when I got married in Vegas, it didn't have that shit. It was just like, hey, here's your marriage license. You want to put your signature on it?
Well, because that's Vegas.
That's fake. Well, that's Vegas, bro. But okay, so I see what you're saying, right? You want to basically have like you want to have like that liability form that you sign before you like, you do something. You want to be like, well, technically, if you engage in this act of marriage, you could A, be severely depressed, B, never have sex, C, have to split half the stuff that you make, and D, have your in-laws live with them. These are all possibilities that could occur while you're married, right? I mean,
after you decide to absolve the marriage. Like,
exactly.
You don't know what the ramifications are until after you decide to get a divorce and go to get a lawyer. The lawyer has to tell you what you just got yourself into after the fact. You see? I don't know, bro. I mean, you know what? This stuff should be taught in schools or something.
They could teach it in school.
So this, instead of critical race theory, this is critical marriage theory.
There you go. Boom. Can you imagine how many happy marriages we'd have in the future if people knew what they were getting themselves into?
Dude, first off, no one would get married. I mean, I'm not trying to say, dude, I'm a happily married person saying that, but of course I've been divorced before, so I've had a not so happy marriage.
I didn't want to put your business out there.
No, dude. I've been there. Hey, you know what? I've walked the walk. I've talked the talk. I have been through the ringer when it comes to that, and I've actually gone through the system. But in the end, should they teach? I mean, yeah, they should also teach about. They should really teach about student loans. They should teach about a lot of life things that they don't, right? But should there be an exam before marriage? Maybe not a bad idea. Right?
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta take a fucking driver's license exam, right? You have to take an actual exam that tests minimal competencies again in a car. You should probably I'm kind of feeling this now, Rick. I think what you're saying is right, but instead of this disclosure form, you should be like tested before you're married. Like, you should actually have to do an exam that basically, like, you need a study for that tells you about everything. And
yeah, you've acknowledged, like, your passage of the exam is your acknowledgement that you understand what the hell you're getting yourself into.
Exactly. And you should sign an arbitration agreement so you don't, like most companies make you sign something like, instead of like, suing them, you agree to arbitration.
Getting a marriage license is almost as easy as getting a gun in Texas.
Almost.
It's easier to get a gun.
On. It's way easier to get a gun, though. I mean, a marriage license, you actually have to show an ID.
Yeah, you got to drive over there.
In Texas, you just have to slobber on the counter and drop some cash, and then you're fucking strapped to the tits within seconds. But
it's that easy. I mean, it's that easy to get a marriage license, and anyone can do it. And you don't realize that this is a lifelong ramification issue. I mean, dude,
you kind of should.
Dude, you're in your mid-20s. No. The vows are nice and like, I never promise never to leave you, this and that. But they don't say, you never say in your vows, I promise to pay you alimony after 10 years. I mean, you don't say that in your vows.
You know what's funny is, and this is no bullshit, I had to do way more shit for the Catholic Church to get married than I did for the state of Texas.
Yep.
Yeah. Big time, bro. We had to go in class. We had to go meet at this couple's house. That like half-assed.
Was like a swinger party. Did you leave your keys? Did you leave your keys in the bowl?
It's exactly what it was.
Everyone rushes to the Catholic Church tomorrow trying to get it.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to hype it up, man.
Hey, man, I heard you guys have swinger parties.
Yeah,
it's like, well, kind of. The wine, it's in the wine. Just drinking, come back in.
But okay, so for all the Skip the Noise listeners, you're saying before you get married, you should try to take an exam, or you should really examine what you're about to do, right?
Exactly, dude. There's got to be some sort of a stop that tells you, okay, like literally, you're about to sign this contract. And this is gonna be the most important contract of your life.
Right. So here, realistically, though, check it out. So it's not that crazy. So look at it this way. I mean, we were joking around, making a joke, but like for the actual license process, you basically have to fill your name out correctly and put your fucking social security number.
That's
and then,
it.
Okay, cool. Here it is. Yeah. Maybe that process gets a little bit you know, I'm
you
not
should
talking
be able
about
to read the fine print.
Yeah, I mean,
I get you.
I get
you.
And here's the thing, though. Men really get the short end of the stick when it comes to marriage or divorces.
Hey, but hold on before you. I really want to hear what you're about to say about this because that was good. I didn't mean to interrupt
That's all right.
the leading up to this crescendo. But look, dude, when you have to do defensive driving courses, could you not have to take an online book? Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
what do you mean?
No, like, so for defensive driving, we all know it's fucking stupid and it's bullshit, but you have to do it, right? To get out of the ticket or whatever. Marriage is just like, you have to fucking fill out the form. Like, that's it.
And think about the contract, dude.
I'm kind of, Rick, you turned me around. Like this.
I'm telling you, this is not like
this is not crazy, actually.
This was half-assed but no, this honestly, but there's so many things, right? That this should be the reality of, right? If you're doing anything, so like for student loans, they should literally show you that you're going to have to pay them back no matter what, and not just say, oh, your education is worth it. No, actually do a financial analysis of how much they want you to borrow to get this shitty basket weaving degree compared to how much you're going to make and how much you have to pay every month. I really think society should break down things like that. But what happens if they really do? Nobody's going to get fucking married.
Exactly. Nobody's going to get married. Well, look, the people that want to get married will get married. Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
But it's not going to allow us to propagate our fucking species, man. We're going to be kind of dead in the water.
No. You can still do that, okay? And deal with the child support. But you don't have to deal with the splitting of your assets, you see? You can still propagate the species with your girlfriend or some live-in partner, or whatever. But you're not going to have to split your assets. You're not going to have to. You're not going to have to pay an alimony
with your chest feeder
after 10 years. So we all know. I mean, Ben, men get the short end of the stick on this.
They do. They do. Don't they? I'm gonna be. And this is coming from someone who's divorced. Right,
been through it.
Who's been through the ringer?
How many times?
I'm a very, very, very yes, more than once. But once I maybe make some mistakes, but in the end, well, hey, some of us, we got the nads to do what we got to do. That's all I gotta say.
No, it's all good.
But in the end,
man, I would have done it. Yeah,
no, I've also made some dumb fucking mistakes. But in the end, if you're a father of someone, like, automatically women are in certain states, and in Texas in particular, are literally assumed that they're the better parent.
And they're not.
That you will literally just so it didn't matter that you spent more time with your children. You took them out every weekend. You've raised them for the most part. You woke up every fucking single night they cried, and you fed them, even though you worked 86 hours that fucking week and worked every single day for 6 fucking months. You woke up every night to go feed those children because you knew your self-worth was only about those children. But then you get in front of a judge here in Texas and they fucking tell you, yeah, you're a man, so you're not as good of a parent as this crackhead next to you. So the chest feeder right by you. So men get pretty rolled up hard. They really do. But see, that's what I wish they would do with marriage. Would rather be that there's no more, like, there's divisible terms. It's like, if you get divorced, you split the kids. There's no child support because you're each going to be responsible for them, and you're tied down geographically to that spot because you decided to have a fucking child with this particular crackhead piece of shit. So, that's what it ends up becoming. Even though those children you have are the light of your life and you would do anything for them, this particular individual, they penalize men quite a bit in this whole.
They do.
It's
they do. And that's never going to change. No, but I'm saying,
well, no, it is in other states. And they actually, in the great city of Houston, which is part of our wonderful state of Texas, they don't play that shit. If you get divorced in the city of Houston, in particular in Harris County, there's not an assumption that the female will get majority of custody. It actually already starts 50-50. which breaks down the child support situation, because Houston does do that. But anywhere else in Texas, they will automatically just assume the female is going to take most of it.
Well, being so lopsided against men, the least they can do is give us a disclosure at the very beginning.
No, I think all men should just be provided with public defenders, and females have to pay for the lawyers. That would make shit so much better.
That's never going to happen. Give me a disclosure. Do an online, defensive driving course.
Like the alien.
Yeah, that's all. Honestly, that's my proposal. That's all it is.
What?
Give me an online marriage counseling course from the state of Texas.
25 question quiz.
Yeah. Well, are better yet. How about better yet? You just make you make marriage only an arbitration thing, right? Like, why do lawyers need to get involved when two people are splitting assets? It really should just be an arbitration situation.
Right.
And that's it. But instead, we have to go through this archaic, I hear you, listen to the state. When really it's just like, hey, we're breaking our shit up. What's a good way to do it? We don't fucking like each other. Oh, let's pay people that are paid by the hour to argue in front of some, person.
$300 an hour.
Right.
You fucking lucky you're $300.
Well, no. That's for the associate lawyer. If you get the real lawyer, it's going to go $700 an hour.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And you quickly add up, because that counts. Every email is 15 minutes. So good luck with that. So, in the end, I feel it. You know what, Rick? You get it. You get the Twinkie today. That's a Ghostbuster reference.
Here's what I'm proposing. Okay, if there's some sort of like crazy ass lawyer out there who's listening to the show, I need you to do something for me. I need you to take up this case.
I need you to help me.
I need you to take up this case.
We need you on retainer.
Okay, and I need you to take this all the way to the state Supreme Court and get every marriage in the state nullified until they give us disclosures.
And you know what? This is how Hitler in art school works. Okay, folks, it's an all or none proposition. Everyone's marriage must be destroyed in order to cleanse the rest of them.
How many people do you think would go back to get that, renew that?
This is awesome. That was the greatest thing that you've ever said. Just nullify all marriage until the disclosure, because then that gives a lot of people a backdoor out. So
exactly, dude.
That's funny. That's kind of like, it's like throwing everybody a bone. Everybody is on the fence. They're like, oh
my
God. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Freedom. Man, imagine the courts nullify every marriage in the state because no one got disclosures in the beginning.
Yummy fucking dudes be roaming the streets like fucking, I'm free. I can drink. Like fucking running down the streets with green jello all over their chest. Just like strip clubs are just slam packed. Dudes are just, every man's doing a Stone Cold Austin outside.
Can you believe that?
Oh yeah,
remember that shit?
Yeah.
Stone Cold.
And then they're cool. And then but the other side of that coin, there'd be a lot of not very happy a lot of the unhappy chest feeders.
And then the split. If they don't want to renew their license or whatever, everything just goes to arbitration. No need for lawyers anymore.
Well, I think that divorce should be only arbitration. I really, right? I mean, that makes sense. Why arbitration and a fixed fee? That's it. We have, it's so funny in the medical profession. We have you have doctors, then you have PAs, you have all these people that basically water down and handle medicine. But in lawyers, you just have a lawyer who charges a ridiculous amount. Well, why don't you have really just a fucking paralegal who does it? Or someone that just says, arbitration is $500.
Most of the shit they could handle like a paralegal could.
Oh, dude, most of the shit a fucking ferret can handle. Dude, if you put a ball, right? If you put a ball and you give it to a ferret and it points it one way or the other, the ferret's going to handle the division of property way better than 99% of lawyers out there. You know what I'm saying? Because the ferret doesn't give a fuck, and at least you know that. Whereas the fucking lawyers that you're paying $300 an hour, they really don't give a fuck, and they know that, and it's just a shitty system, bro.
Yeah,
it is.
And fuck, Rick, you lit a fire.
That's right, man. Hopefully I start a movement, you know?
Oh shit. This is how he gets power, guys. This is how it begins. He's gonna get power through the Marriage Referendum Act.
Yeah, that's his angle.
It's for the greater good.
Yeah,
Anyway.
see, the greater good. The greater good. Next thing you know, we're all goose stepping down fucking 6th Street. And
So
he's like, he's got his armbands.
I made the symbol for a flag. Check this out. It's got like 4 little points. Oh, I'm kidding. Just kidding.
Oh my god. I can see Rick. I could see
Marriage Referendum Act.
Dude, I could see, you know who I could see? I could see Jordan Peterson like jumping on board and supporting Rick and giving it all kinds of.
Dude, there's so many men that would literally like just donate secretly to your cause. Like you would have the largest political action committee ever. Like you would have your like war chest for like running against whatever douchebag goes against you would be like $3.5 billion. Because you'd have so much money.
Because I'd have marriage reform. I'd have marriage reform. I'd get it all figured out. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Just want to let you guys know about that.
But you don't have to worry about that because you don't have to worry about that. Everything is perfect.
Oh, I'm a happily married man, of course.
Happily married, of course.
Yeah.
So if all the
but
females,
for all the other slubs out there that aren't
That's right.
happily married.
let me make an announcement. So all the men that are running Rick's collab with Jordan Peterson. So all the females that are disenfranchised by this new situation that's going to happen. I'm growing my own food, man. I got a little compound started. You can all come over. David Koresh when he was just playing guitar. We'll start our own little thing going.
Guys will be strumming guitars and tagging.
Yeah, so
nice.
you've got that option if shit hits the fan.
All right. Cool.
Just so
you know how many guys would just lose their shit if their marriage was automatically dissolved without any penalty. They
all of a sudden they just start reaching around. I can see like the friends like he gets the alert on his iPhone and he immediately starts shuffling, like grabbing a bunch of like necessities that he needs and he throws them in a fucking backpack and he gets in his car and he just like he immediately, without an explanation, he grabs his fucking backpack from his goddamn closet and he just starts shuffling shit in there like a couple of forks.
And the best part, it's gonna come like an Amber Alert on your cell phone, like shit. It's gonna be the marriage referendum alert. It's like your marriage is dissolved. You're like, fuck.
Please go to the nearest courthouse to read.
Do you see dudes grabbing toothbrushes and underwear? It's gonna be fucking pandemonium, bro.
Dude, you know when you go to a court and you say, "Look, I signed this contract, but I wasn't given the disclosure for it," dude, it's annulled.
Rick, I think you just earned us 785 million listeners. Like this would be a worldwide phenomenon. Like, oh my god, there'd be a federal holiday. This is the next thing the federal holiday will be named after.
June 24th.
June 24th. June 24th, the day.
That's another holiday where slavery ended, okay? Another form of slavery ended.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god, dude.
Wow.
How ridiculous would it be if they literally Rick, what did you do? You just put it out into the universe, bro. It's going down.
Yeah.
There's gonna be men. There's gonna be some men listening to this that just pump their fists in the air, like go like straight up, like Nation of like Islam, but Nation of Marriage Reform. They're gonna be wearing bow ties, walking down the street and shit, saying dissolve.
You know what's funny?
That would be fucking cool.
You know what's funny is like I've often said off air that like, dude, Rick like low key steals the show like almost every episode. Hey. How fucking ironic would it, like me and Ben, like obviously Rick takes a lot of the butt of the jokes because of his political views, but what if the fucking show takes off because of Rick's movement he started with this whole fucking thing, and then we're just like kind of fucking decoration on the door. Me and the two Bens.
Yeah.
It's Rick.
Just like
Rick becomes this fucking Tucker Carlson goddamn figure.
Well, bro, I don't think
we're just like, oh.
He would have to live in one of our basements, or one of our he'd have to live in one of our houses after introducing this act, because I don't think anyone's marriage is going to survive this. Like, oh no, babe, it has nothing to do with you. Oh, at all. Like I'm thinking of other guys that are in really bad situations. I mean, I love you. This is perfect. You're the greatest. I mean, oh my God, would I use this? No,
I would go straight to the courthouse and renew that license right away.
Why do I have hesitate? You're asking why I have my toothbrush and my underwear packed in a separate bag? I mean, I don't know. I just.
It's actually her stuff. It's packed in the bag.
Yeah.
I know. Why am I throwing your stuff out the window? I don't know. I mean, did I get some information that maybe the marriage referendum act was going through? Perhaps. Oh my God, dude, that's fucking.
Yeah, why is all your stuff in a hefty bag on the lawn?
Right? It's not even like a real bag. It's like a hefty.
Did I start throwing away all your movies and throwing these stupid pictures away? I mean,
your movies.
Did I get rid of all of the cable subscriptions a lifetime? Yeah, maybe.
You start fucking scrambling, changing passwords like a motherfucker.
You know that joint Facebook account we had? Yeah, that's mine. Okay.
Yeah, that's cashed. That's gone. Do you want to watch HBO Max? Not on my fucking dime. Figure it out.
Yep. So I just want to tell you that.
Rick is like, you're reading my mind. What's happening? How did you know about my HBO Max account? Oh my God. Hey, guess what? Guess who's no longer a user profile on my Netflix? Booted.
See, I got one profile on there.
Just mine.
Too.
See, profile Rick. Does it say anybody else? No.
Well, speaking of profiles, and
we can move on from this.
You know, selling yourself to the public.
Oh,
I don't know, man. The last year or so, a certain city has been the focal point of all kinds of chaos, and you know, the city of Portland, Oregon. I don't know, man. Maybe it's got a bad rap, maybe not. You know, you can be the judge, but one thing they're obviously hurting for is tourism. So it's gotten so bad, allegedly or apparently, that let me just, before we start to discuss the topic, I just want to read you. This was an ad put out by I don't know the name of the organization, but it's like the Portland Bureau of Tourism or some shit like that. If that's, sorry for that's somebody's whole career.
Some
and I'm just like that fucking whatever.
Some guy's like fucking crying behind his desk.
The Bureau of Tourism.
The play fuck whatever. They fucking whatever. It's propaganda. Fuck it. So they're trying to get you to come to Portland. That's what they're trying to do because they, you know, that's their job. So here's what they're in their basement or in their secret laboratory of what they come up with their cronies, and they're punching each other on the arm like, we got it. This is what we're going to do, man. Nobody's coming to Portland anymore because of riots and fires and fucking autonomous zones. But here we go. Here we're going to sell Portland back to the American public. We're going to do it. We're going to sell it back, and we're going to put our own personal spin on it to say, you know what? Here, let me just read it. And I'm gonna read this whole fucking thing verbatim, so bear with me.
Please.
Here it is. Here we go, and we start now.
Hey, read it some pep. Read it with some pep. Like, hey,
Rick blew.
No, I am.
Ben blew. He was just like,
this. I'm about to fucking This is gonna be a performance. So, here we go. You've heard a lot about us lately. It's been a while since you've heard from us. Some of what you've heard about Portland is true. Some is not. What matters most is that we're true to ourselves. There's a river that cuts through the middle of our town. It divides east and west, but it's bridged over and over again, 12 times to be specific. And that's kind of a great metaphor for the city. If I can get through this, we're a place of dualities that are never polarities. Two sides of the same coin that keep landing right on its edge. Anything can happen. We like it this way. This is the kind of place where new ideas are welcome, whether they're creative, cutting edge, or curious at first glance. You can speak up here. You can be yourself here. We have some of the loudest voices on the West Coast. And yes, passion pushes the volume all the way up. We've always been like this. We wouldn't have it any other way. We have faith in our future. We're building it every day. The only way we know how, by being Portland. Come see for yourself. Love, Portland. Boom.
Dude, it's like they got every news article about Portland and they just said the opposite. You know, hey, coming, you know, every idea is welcome one. Not unless you're a Trump supporter, you know, wearing your Trump flag and stuff. They're gonna kill you on the street.
God. Oh,
they're building things at the end. They said they were building things. No, they keep turning down shit, man. That's what the whole ride's about.
Well, okay, let's just go. Let's just break this whole thing down. You know, let's just really take a look at this structure of this melody, this beautiful melody. And Ben, I applaud you for your performance. It was succinct. It was succinct. Thank you. It was poetic, and you know, it moved me. But the rest of it but unfortunately the content of it is just fuck all, because we all know that nobody is taking their kids to Portland for anything, right? I mean, because who wants to see homeless guys pissing all over the corners in autonomous zones where they may just decide to like take your family? So yeah, this is not, this is right there next to, like, you know, the Bureau of Tourism for Afghanistan, or the Bureau, or the Bureau of Tourism for the Uyghur, for the Uyghur, their special thinking tanks, like their special thinking camps. Yeah. So yeah, bro, this is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. I mean, what makes what confounds me is that somebody actually got paid to write this. Probably a substantial amount of money.
They spent $100,000 on the
exactly.
ad.
Someone spent $100,000 for this ridiculous, just muffled. It literally just glossed over everything that's shitty about Portland, and then basically just made it seem like, well, we're just really outspoken. No, you're not, and you're not a safe place for children.
You know, I'm not going to be as critical on the actual author of this as maybe would be the obvious sort of take.
Yeah. It's like a softer Mein Kampf.
No, man, seriously. Yeah. But whoever's in this position, right? Whoever was assigned this task of like, all right, fucking tourism is fucked in Portland.
That would have been a better sentence.
Come up with some, come up with something, you know, Billy, go. I'll be honest with you. Billy's like, what the fuck? I'll be honest with you, man. I don't think Billy, in Billy's position, Billy, with the task that Billy was been given to save Portland tourism by coming up with some clever, I think he's like, I could bullshit and I could be like, fucking Oregon's beautiful with all the trees and blah, blah, blah. And everybody's like, dude, fuck. Like, I'll go to Eugene, or I'll go to wherever the fuck else in Portland that isn't. All right, yeah, everywhere else in Oregon that isn't Portland. Yeah. Okay. And he's just like, you know what? Let me just go with it. We're steering. Here's what he did. Here's what Billy did. Billy steered into the skid. And for that, and only that, I give him credit. Okay. He made a decision that there's no point in, because anything else, to be honest with you, now that I'm thinking about this, like when we brought this topic up, I was actually like, it was laughable, because I was like, this is a bullshit poem or whatever the fuck he concocted. You know,
like it was kind of a poem.
It's prose. Right? It's prose, right? I appreciate it as somebody who write. I appreciate.
Is it an iambic pentameter?
It is. Maybe no, it's not. It's not. It's free verse. It's free verse. But I appreciate what he did.
If he haiku, it'd be better.
Or at least what he attempted to do. And what he attempted to do was to steer into the skid and be like, "Hey, Portland's a shit show. It's fucked up. But you know what? That's Portland, baby. So come fucking check us out." That's what he tried to do.
I love how you did it in 70s porn star. See, I would have respected that. Hey, come to Portland, baby. It's fresh.
It's irresponsible for Billy to do this, because he knows that Portland is a downright dangerous shithole for families.
For sure.
You know? And he instead of saying like, I'm not gonna woo people over here, it's dangerous. He said, "Oh, all right, give me the money, I'll write something."
Right. Okay. So was he supposed to make the stand and be like he's crying out from behind the thing, like, I know I'm supposed to tell you to come to Portland because that's my fucking job, is to be the chief fucking writer for the Bureau of Tourism of Portland, but don't come here. It's fucked up.
Yeah,
it's
dude,
crazy.
You should have done that.
Riding in the streets for every
he ethically should have been charged.
Ethically, he should have done that. Well, ethically, he should have just head for the hills then and took off. And somebody
did. He probably did. Someone had him at gunpoint that's why he came out so good. Someone had his family at gunpoint. Like they had his family in the demilitarized zone, whatever it's called. And they just had them at gunpoint and said, you better fucking write the best thing you can to get people down here.
Well, okay, let's go with scenario option A1. Maybe Billy was like, fuck that. I stand for what I believe in. Portland's a shit show. Fuck that. I'm not doing it. All right, Billy, get the fuck out of here. Roger, get on this. Get on in front of your iMac. Your fucking Mac Pro, whatever the fuck.
Your iMac.
It's going to be a Mac.
iMac
or
Apple,
whatever.
It's always got to be a Mac, dude. For sure in Portland.
All the fucking Macs. Dude. They don't even know what Windows is anymore.
Was that a good call? Come on,
that was
bro.
Perfect.
Am I always
perfect, dude? Macs and Converse, they run fucking Portland, bro.
I don't even get enough credit for these little subtle nuances that I drop all over this shit. Anyway, it's a Mac. Obviously, Roger's working on a Mac, so it's like, what are we? Yeah, and so Roger decides. He says, "Fuck Windows," and then he's like, "No, I can't do that. Fuck Seattle. No, I can't do that. Even though it's the same thing. Fuck, I can't do that. Portland's dope because we fucking riot." And then he just expanded that into a paragraph. That's what he did.
Maybe
we're fucking hip, dude. We don't take any bullshit because we're in for the future. Where that's the future of America.
Think about it.
Right. Fucking future of America right there.
You're putting out a tourism ad, and I guess your target market is people from across the country to come to Portland. But you're going to have people from across the country with all different ideologies. You're going to have red state Republicans, you're pandering to them, blue state Democrats. Now, what's going to happen when these red state Republican families start going to Portland?
Okay, hold on. You've already committed a logic, like a logic.
That's a whole fallacy.
You've already. No, dude, that's like saying like what happens if the sea turtle like marries your cousin. Like, fuck, bro. We all know that red state Republicans are not taking their families to Portland ever.
Well, that's it. See. That's what you would think.
Yeah,
but
no.
The intent of the ad is to advertise
to point at the poor people. Come on.
No, bro. The intent of the ad is to bring in tourism. Are you going to bring in tourism only from one class of people?
Yes.
Or is it everybody?
No.
Portland,
That's Portland.
Hold on. Let me tell you something though. So Roger thinks it's a waste of. That would be. Remember Anthony Kiedis in Point Break?
Nice.
He's like, that would be a waste of time. So for Roger to pander to red state families would be a fucking waste of time. So he's just gonna pander to like, hey, maybe you're a fucking loud, maybe you're a fucking hipster, and you know what I mean? Topeka,
you want to burn
Kansas.
some shit.
Maybe you want to fuck some shit up, and you're a hipster in Topeka, Kansas, and you don't feel like you're being heard.
Do better. Like your dad.
Bro,
your dad's really conservative. Maybe you just want to get out and spray paint some shit. Come to Portland, fucking tag our streets.
You're better. Your dad doesn't know shit. Fuck your dad. Come over here.
I would have respected that ad a whole lot more than this one, man. Okay,
bro. Fuck him.
I would have respected that ad more, man.
Fuck your mom. Fuck everybody. Come burn this motherfucker down.
Fuck you. You can't do what you tell me. Fuck you.
That should have been Portland's fucking thing right there. Raise Against the Machine. Get tell me. And that should have been it. Oh my God.
Holy shit.
I love that shit. Oh, Rick. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Rick,
yeah.
just tell me as a red state Republican.
Yeah.
Are you planning on going to Portland this summer?
No.
Okay. There we go.
Although there are some really nice spots in Washington State that are beautiful.
No, Washington
really
yeah,
want to
there
go.
are. Oh,
There
fucking
is
even
gorgeous.
Oregon.
Fucking
God,
really
that
pretty.
that part of the I actually do want to go.
The Pacific
Yeah.
Northwest is gorgeous.
That's the
It
ironic
is.
fucking thing. Like, I kind of do want to go to Portland. I'll be honest with you.
Just don't fly
you
into
do.
Portland,
I
man.
bet
Maybe
you
you can.
do.
Yeah.
Maybe you can fly
talking
to
a lot of
Eugene or
shit.
something.
I kind of want to go to Portland. I'll be
I know
honest
you
with
want
you.
to, dude. I know you want to. Like right now, you're like, dude, you just talked yourself into going to Portland.
You're
Yeah.
gonna burn some shit down.
Yeah, exactly. Ben's gonna fucking run out there with like 2 spray paint cans. Fuck everyone.
You know what's
And-
funny though is
And
when
lead
I
a
was
trail to your new compound.
yeah, no, exactly. Like we'll hop trains and shit. We'll get all the way. We'll go we'll see shit you never seen before. We'll see little towns that ain't, you know what I mean?
But
Interstate won't reach.
you wouldn't go to Portland, man. That's fucked up. Mm-mm.
No, I wouldn't. But
do it.
I remember back in
Yeah.
the day, like in the late '90s, when I was a musician. I remember that was a cool thing. I just remember a lot of people being like, "Yeah, man, fuck this shit, dude. We're moving to Oregon." Like like that was a legit thing. Like there was several people I know moved to Oregon back in the day for that very reason. But
It'd be dope.
I don't know.
It'd be dope.
I don't know. So the question is, Skip the Noise listeners, what do you want to do? Was that powerful magnitude of a free verse poem enough to get you to want to get on a plane or drive, depending on how close you are or your financial means? Would you go to Portland, Oregon right now? And for what reason? What would
Or
be-
how about you write a poem on, or you write
Yeah.
Portland's? Yeah. So we'd love to see your
Rewrite. Let's
wonderful
rewrite it.
submission. Yeah, rewrite it. You
Pretend you're
rewrite it.
Roger.
Yeah.
Pretend you're Roger, and you're assigned with the task of saving Portland fucking tourism. Because let's be honest, there's probably not a whole lot
Yeah,
left
yeah.
to Portland at this point.
Yep.
So they're
Except
trying.
for
They're going for anything. man.
Basic
So-
city services. You may get your trash taken. That's about it.
Yeah, that's true.
The sewers still work. That should have
Oh,
been the
fuck.
fucking
No, right?
plumbing still work. Toilet
The-
still flush.
The poo-poo still
Come to
goes
Portland.
down the drain.
Love Portland. Yeah.
Oh
the
my
sinks
God.
still turn on when you turn the water.
And with that being said, I think we're gonna flesh this one on out, gentlemen. I think we've
Yeah.
had some revelations here.
Well said.
From marriage reform to just you guys out there, rewrite the Portland Tourism Board. See if maybe you could hit on all the beautiful nuances that make Portland, Oregon, the destination.
Yeah,
this summer.
or it would be even a funner exercise. This is actually pretty fun, man. I'm going to give you guys some homework for next week, and then I'm going to tease something we're probably going to do later this week before we
Nice.
completely wrap it up. I'll be really quick. If you would skip the noise, listeners, either via Instagram or email, skip the noise podcast at gmail.com, or the Instagram skip _the _noise _podcast. Let us know your hometown. What would be your little tourism paragraph? How would you
Ooh.
sell us on coming to your hometown? Let us know. That would be fun. Also, too, I want to say that. So obviously last week I was on vacation. We did record, but I didn't get the episode out until actually Monday. So you're in for a treat this week. This episode obviously will come out. We're recording as of right now. This is Wednesday. Well, technically it's Thursday since it's after midnight. So it should be out. I'll have it out for the public sometime Thursday morning, because that's just how I do, dude. We grind it out and we bang them out.
Grinder.
And get them ready, dude. Once we record it, it's like, boom, we go. So Thursday, this will be out. But Friday, we have a special event planned. So as we've talked about numerous times on the podcast, the UAP report, or the task force, has been designated with the task of coming clean to the Pentagon and all they are part of, never mind. You know what I'm talking about. They're supposed to release the documents that they've collected on all these fucking UAP sightings. So we're going to do like a little special on Friday. So that'll probably come out hopefully Saturday or somewhere soon. So anyway,
Ooh.
you may actually get 3 fucking Skip the Noise episodes in 1 week.
Yep.
To
The
make
trifecta.
to trifecta. So anyway, it's been a pleasure. Once again, been a great week. A lot to cover as always. if you've got anything else to add or anything like that.
No.
Well, let's close it on out. You guys have a great week. It's been a pleasure. And you know what I mean? Keep questioning everything.
Real, represent.
Keep it real and represent. Bye. See you in a couple of days. Bye.